Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract money with surprising ease, while others struggle despite working twice as hard? What if I told you the difference isn't about strategy, skills, or even connections, but something far more fundamental that's operating beneath the surface of your awareness right now? Money has always been more than just paper or digital numbers in your bank account. What most financial experts won't tell you is that money operates as a specific energetic frequency in our universe. This isn't just metaphorical thinking. It's a principle that ancient civilizations understood intuitively long before modern banking systems existed. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Think about it for a moment. Has this ever happened to you? You focus intensely on your financial struggles, worrying about bills and debts, only to find yourself attracting more situations that drain your resources. This isn't coincidence. It's evidence of an invisible mechanism at work. The wealthiest, most abundant individuals throughout history have known a truth that's been deliberately kept from mainstream awareness. Your internal energy signature is the most powerful money magnet you possess. But unlike physical magnets that you can see and touch, this force operates silently, responding to subtle shifts in your energetic state. Stay with me until the end, because I'm about to share something that transformed not just my financial reality, but the lives of thousands who discovered this method. Traditional approaches to wealth creation focus almost exclusively on external actions, working harder, investing wisely, building businesses. While these activities matter, they represent only the visible portion of the abundance equation. What you're about to discover might surprise you, especially if you've spent years following conventional financial wisdom without achieving the results you desire. The most successful individuals aren't necessarily working harder. They've simply mastered the art of aligning their personal vibration with the natural frequency of abundance. Imagine having the ability to subtly shift something within yourself that begins attracting opportunities, resources, and yes, actual money toward you with seemingly magical precision, not through manipulation or complex strategies, but through activating an internal resonance that wealth naturally responds to. This isn't about positive thinking alone, though that's part of the equation. It's about understanding the vibrational nature of our universe and learning to tune your personal energetic signature to match what you wish to attract. When you adjust your internal frequency to align with abundance rather than scarcity, this is just the beginning of our conversation about wealth transformation. If you're committed to doing the deep work we discussed today, subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that's rewriting their financial stories. Click the subscribe button now. Activating this inner financial energy creates a profound shift in how wealth flows into your life. Think of it as becoming a beacon that money naturally gravitates toward, rather than you constantly chasing after it. This transformation isn't about superficial tactics. It's about fundamentally altering your relationship with abundance at an energetic level. When you align your internal frequency with wealth, remarkable changes begin to unfold in your external reality. I've witnessed this countless times in my journey of studying wealth psychology. People who make this energetic shift often report strange coincidences, unexpected opportunities appearing, fortuitous connections forming, and financial doors opening that previously seemed locked shut. What's particularly fascinating about this wealth alignment process is how it bypasses the exhausting hustle that leaves so many burnt out and still struggling financially. The traditional path tells us to work harder, push more aggressively, and sacrifice everything for financial success. But that approach misunderstands the deeper mechanics of abundance. Instead, when you operate as a wealth magnet, you're tapping into what I call the effortless attraction principle, where opportunities find you through the path of least resistance. This isn't some mystical illusion, it's a practical recalibration of how you position yourself in the economic ecosystem. Think about the most financially successful people you know or have studied. There's often a noticeable ease about how they attract money. They're not necessarily working harder than everyone else. They're working differently from an energetic foundation that naturally draws resources toward them rather than depleting their energy chasing after every dollar. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining the specific blocks that might be preventing you from activating this financial magnetism. Many people remain stuck in scarcity despite understanding these principles intellectually. The disconnection often occurs at the subconscious level, where early programming about money creates invisible barriers to this energy. Activation. These hidden limitations operate like background software, running your financial decisions without your awareness. Perhaps you absorbed messages in childhood that money requires struggle, that wealth is morally questionable, or that you're somehow not deserving of abundance. These subtle beliefs create energetic resistance that repels the very prosperity you're trying to attract. The remarkable revelation here is that once you identify and release these blocks, the shift to becoming a money magnet can happen with surprising speed. I've guided countless individuals through this process, and the breakthroughs often arrive not after years of effort, but in those pivotal moments of genuine energetic release. Behind the scenes of every financial transformation is this fundamental truth. Your relationship with money is ultimately a reflection of your relationship with yourself. When you heal the internal tensions and contradictions around prosperity, you naturally begin radiating the energy that makes money flow toward you rather than away from you. This journey toward financial magnetism represents one of the most liberating shifts you can make. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of chasing and striving that leaves so many people financially stressed despite their hard work. Instead, you enter a state of aligned attraction, where your energy naturally pulls opportunities into your orbit. If what I'm explaining resonates with your own experiences with money, write, "I'm ready to become a money magnet," in the comments below. I'm curious how many of you have felt this energetic shift already beginning in your life. So really, what we're uncovering here is that true financial transformation isn't about learning more tactics or strategies. It's about rewiring the very foundation of our relationship with money. This internal shift is where the magic happens. When you change your money narrative from "there's never enough" to "abundance flows to me naturally," you're actually reprogramming your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to you. I've witnessed this transformation firsthand with countless people who came to me feeling stuck in financial quicksand. What's fascinating is how quickly things can shift once you address the root cause. One particular client, a woman who had been struggling paycheck to paycheck for years, despite having an excellent education and skill set, experienced what I can only describe as an energetic breakthrough. Within weeks of practicing these internal dialogue shifts, she not only landed a promotion, but also discovered a side business opportunity that had been right under her nose for years. This journey toward financial awakening requires something deeper than conventional wisdom acknowledges. It demands presence and awareness. Notice how your body physically responds when you think about money. Do you feel tightness in your chest? Does your breathing become shallow? These physical reactions are windows into your subconscious programming, revealing hidden barriers that have been quietly sabotaging your financial growth. The revelations that emerge when you begin this work often surprise people. Many discover that their money blocks actually originated from childhood experiences or comments made by parents or teachers that seemed insignificant at the time. These limiting beliefs become embedded in our identity, creating invisible boundaries around what we believe is possible for us financially. What's truly powerful about rewiring your internal dialogue is that it creates ripple effects beyond just money. As you move from scarcity thinking to abundance consciousness, you'll likely notice improvements in your relationships, health, and overall sense of well-being. This happens because scarcity thinking isn't just about money. It's a lens through which you view everything in your life. The process requires patience and compassion with yourself. Think of it as excavation work. You're digging through layers of conditioning to uncover your authentic relationship with abundance. Some days will feel like breakthroughs, while others might bring up resistance or old patterns. This is all part of the journey. One practice I recommend is what I call abundance evidence gathering. Each day, make a point to notice and write down instances of abundance in your life. Not just financial abundance, but all forms. Perhaps someone offered you unexpected help, or you enjoyed a beautiful sunset, or found exactly what you needed at the perfect time. This trains your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, to seek and recognize abundance rather than scarcity. Now, I want to go even deeper into how these internal shifts create external results. The connection between your energy and your financial reality isn't mystical thinking. It's reflected in how you show up in meetings, the confidence you project when negotiating, and the inspiration that strikes when you're aligned with possibility rather than limitation. Your internal state broadcasts subtle signals that others respond to, often unconsciously. If any of this resonates with your experience, write "energy shift happening" in the comments. I'd love to know this is connecting with where you are on your financial journey. Let's break down what these 3 essential keys really mean in practical terms. Desire isn't just wanting more money. It's having crystal clarity about your specific financial goals and feeling emotionally connected to them. When your desire burns so intensely that you can physically feel it in your body, you've tapped into something powerful. This kind of desire becomes the fuel that propels you forward, even when obstacles appear. Unshakable faith is that deep-seated knowing that transcends logical doubt. It's not blind optimism, but rather an internal certainty that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. Think about the achievements in your life that once seemed impossible until you accomplished them. That same unwavering belief is what you must cultivate around your financial potential. This faith becomes your anchor during inevitable storms. The concept of a wealthy identity might be the most transformative element of all. Our subconscious mind creates outcomes that align with our self-image. If you secretly believe you're not good with money or don't deserve abundance, your actions will subtly sabotage your progress. Developing a wealthy identity means consciously reshaping how you view yourself in relation to money, seeing yourself as someone who naturally attracts, manages, and multiplies wealth. Now, let's examine those invisible saboteurs that silently derail our financial journey. Fear manifests in countless ways. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of making wrong decisions. The revelation here is recognizing that fear is merely an emotion, not a command. When fear arises around money decisions, acknowledge it as information rather than truth. This simple mindset shift can prevent fear from freezing your progress. Guilt operates as a particularly insidious saboteur. Many of us carry unconscious programming that associates wealth with greed or selfishness. Perhaps you've absorbed messages that suffering is virtuous or that wanting more means you're ungrateful for what you have. These hidden beliefs create internal friction each time you move toward greater abundance. Liberation begins when you recognize that prosperity enables greater service and contribution to others. The third saboteur, impatience, might be the most common in today's instant gratification culture. The building of true wealth follows natural laws that can't be rushed. Just as a farmer can't pull on seedlings to make them grow faster, financial growth requires respect for timing and seasons. The journey involves consistent action paired with patience for the compounding effect to work its magic over time. What's fascinating is how these elements interconnect in our financial ecosystem. Your desire creates momentum, your faith maintains it through challenges, and your identity determines what you'll allow yourself to receive. Meanwhile, those invisible saboteurs operate like hidden programs running in the background, draining your energy and diverting your resources. I want to go even deeper into understanding the subtle, energetic shifts that happen when we align with financial abundance. The truth is, your relationship with money reflects your relationship with life's energy itself. Money is simply stored potential, the ability to create, exchange, and experience. When we block this energy through fear, guilt, or impatience, we're actually blocking broader life force from flowing through us. The journey to financial freedom isn't just about accumulating dollars. It's about removing the internal barriers that prevent energy from flowing freely in all areas of your life. This creates a fascinating ripple effect where improvements in your money mindset naturally enhance your relationships, health, and overall well-being. If what I'm sharing resonates with your own experiences with money, type "energy flows where attention goes" in the comments below. I'd love to know this message is landing with you. Money doesn't care about your background or your beliefs. It doesn't discriminate based on where you were born or what you look like. It simply responds to energy, actions, and the value you create. When you replace fear with radical confidence, you begin to see money for what it truly is, a neutral tool that serves the intention of its holder. I've seen this transformation countless times in my own journey. There were moments when I was trapped in scarcity thinking, worried about every dollar I spent, feeling guilty about wanting more. But that mindset was the very thing keeping abundance at arm's length. The breakthrough came when I realized that my relationship with money was a direct reflection of my relationship with myself. The hidden truth that many wealth coaches won't tell you is that your financial reality is created twice. First in your mind, then in your material world. Those subtle shifts in how you talk about money, how you feel when you pay bills, even how you react when you see someone driving a luxury car, these are not insignificant. They're the energetic blueprint for what you're manifesting. Now, I want to go even deeper into this concept of gratitude as a manifestation accelerator. When you practice persistent gratitude, not just for what you have, but for what's coming, you create a magnetic field for abundance. This isn't spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity. It's understanding the fundamental mechanics of energy. Think about complaint for a moment. When you complain about prices, about not having enough, about how difficult it is to save, you're literally instructing the universe that this is your truth. You're programming your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, to find evidence supporting your complaints. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Behind the scenes of every wealthy person I've studied, there exists this common thread of gratitude practice. They don't just give lip service to being thankful, they've integrated it into their daily rituals. Before they achieved their financial breakthroughs, they were expressing genuine appreciation for the money they already had, treating small amounts with the same respect they would show millions. The journey toward wealth requires this radical shift in perception. Money is simply waiting for you to align with its natural state of flow. It wants to come to you. But as long as you're broadcasting signals of unworthiness, fear, or resentment, you're essentially placing energetic roadblocks in its path. I remember working with a client who would physically cringe whenever she checked her bank account. Her whole body would tense, her breath would become shallow. We started with simply changing that physical response, practicing deep breathing while reviewing her finances, expressing thanks for every dollar that had passed through her life. Within 3 months, her income had unexpectedly doubled. Nothing changed in her external actions before the increase. The transformation began with her internal relationship to money. This isn't coincidence, it's causation. When you shift your vibrational energy around money, you become available to opportunities that were always there but weren't visible from your previous perspective. It's like tuning a radio to a different frequency. The station was always broadcasting, but you weren't tuned in to receive it. The impact of this understanding cannot be overstated. Your financial revolution begins with this internal recalibration, not with some complex investment, strategy, or business plan. Those things matter, of course, but they're secondary to the energetic foundation you're building. If something in this message is resonating with you, write, "I'm ready for my money breakthrough," in the comments. This simple declaration is powerful. It signals both to yourself and to the universe that you're stepping into a new relationship with abundance. Imagine standing on the edge of a river. You can see the water flowing past you, constantly moving, never stagnant. That's exactly how money works in our lives. It's meant to flow, but here's where many of us get stuck. We view money as something to grasp tightly, to hold on to with white knuckles. What if I told you that this perspective is precisely what's blocking your financial abundance? When we practice gratitude for prosperity that hasn't yet materialized in our physical reality, we're essentially tuning our internal frequency to match that of abundance. It's like adjusting the dial on a radio to catch the perfect station. This isn't some mystical concept. It's about psychological positioning and energetic alignment. You're training your subconscious mind to recognize and welcome financial opportunities that might otherwise go unnoticed. Think about this transformation in perspective. Instead of saying, "I want more money," shift to, "I'm thankful for the increasing wealth flowing into my life." Feel the difference? The first statement comes from lack, while the second emerges from a place of abundance. This subtle shift creates ripples through your entire approach to finances. The hidden truth here is that gratitude acts as a powerful magnet for prosperity. When you genuinely feel grateful for the money that's on its way to you, you dissolve the resistance that might be blocking its path. This resistance often manifests as worry, doubt, or the belief that prosperity is meant for others, but not for you. I've witnessed countless individuals make this fundamental shift. In their relationship with money, one client of mine, a small business owner, was constantly stressed about meeting payroll. Every month was a struggle until she began a daily practice of expressing gratitude for the abundant flow of customers and revenue before seeing any evidence of it. Within 3 months, her business had experienced a 40% increase in sales. Was it magic? No. She simply began making decisions from a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Money responds to our emotional relationship with it. When you approach your finances with anxiety, fear, or desperation, you're essentially telling the universe that you don't trust in the flow. But when you express genuine gratitude for the abundance that's already on its way, you open the floodgates. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how this practice of future-focused gratitude actually rewires your neural pathways. Your brain doesn't always distinguish between what's happening now and what you're vividly imagining. When you consistently practice gratitude for future prosperity as if it's already present, Your brain begins creating new neural connections that support this reality. This journey toward financial abundance through gratitude isn't just about attracting more money. It's about fundamentally changing your relationship with prosperity. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of abundance and that the universal flow of money includes you. Many people unconsciously carry beliefs about money that were formed in childhood, beliefs that may actually be sabotaging their financial success without their awareness. The power of expressing thanks for money that hasn't yet arrived lies in its ability to bypass these limiting beliefs. When you feel genuine gratitude for the prosperity that's on its way, you're essentially telling your subconscious mind, "This is normal. This is expected. This is my reality." And your subconscious mind, which doesn't judge or question but simply accepts, begins to align your actions, thoughts, and opportunities with this new expectation. If this perspective on gratitude and prosperity resonates with your experience, write in the comments, "I'm opening to the flow." I'd love to hear how this approach has been working in your life. When we're constantly trying to force actions that don't align with our energy, we're actually working against the natural flow of abundance. This resistance is why so many people feel exhausted on their wealth journey. They're pushing upstream instead of navigating with the current. What truly transforms your financial reality is not mechanical action, but inspired movement that comes from a place of alignment. Think about the last time you felt completely in your element, where work didn't feel like work. In those moments, you weren't checking the clock or dragging yourself forward. You were flowing and likely producing your best results. This state of being represents the hidden key that many wealth seekers overlook. The universe responds not just to what you do, but to who you're being while you do it. This energetic signature becomes your wealth DNA, broadcasting your readiness for abundance at a frequency that money naturally responds to. Now, about that mental vision, it's not just positive thinking or visualization. It's about creating such clarity in your mind that your identity naturally shifts. When you truly see yourself as the wealthy individual you aspire to become, your decisions, habits, and even your posture begin to shift automatically. Your nervous system begins operating from this new reference point. I discovered this principle during my own financial transformation. For years, I pursued wealth through forced hustle, always feeling like I was pushing a boulder uphill. Everything changed when I stopped trying to earn money and started embodying the identity of someone who naturally attracted it. The shift was subtle but profound. I began making decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. This identity-based approach creates a magnetic pull in your life. Rather than chasing opportunities, you'll notice them naturally gravitating toward you. The conversation around financial potential changes from "how can I make this happen" to "of course this is happening for me." What's particularly fascinating is how this principle transcends the financial realm. The same energetic alignment that attracts wealth also tends to enhance relationships, health, and overall fulfillment. It's about creating congruence between your inner world and outer reality, allowing for a seamless exchange rather than a constant battle. Now I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how this alignment creates what I call effortless momentum, the state where opportunities and resources seem to accelerate toward you without the usual resistance. Think about the most successful people you know or admire. What distinguishes them isn't just their actions, but their unwavering embodiment of success principles. They don't just work toward wealth, they operate as if abundance is their natural birthright. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment with universal principles that govern prosperity. The revelation here is that your relationship with money is never really about the money itself. It's about your relationship with yourself and how worthy you feel of receiving abundance. This internal worthiness creates the bandwidth through which prosperity can flow into your life. If any of these principles are resonating with you, write "alignment is my new strategy" in the comments. I'd love to know who's ready to shift their approach from forced action to inspired alignment. The truth is, the path to wealth doesn't begin with financial strategy. It starts with transforming how you perceive fear itself. That initial discomfort you feel when contemplating a major investment or career change. It's actually a powerful signal worth listening to. I've discovered through my own journey that fear isn't something to eliminate, but rather to reframe as your internal navigation system. Think about it. Every wealthy person you admire once stood where you are, feeling that same tightness in their chest when contemplating their next move. The difference is they developed what I call an abundance mindset filter that processes fear differently. Instead of seeing it as a warning to retreat, they interpret it as a spotlight, illuminating exactly where they need to focus their attention. This internal transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent mental reinforcement, like building any muscle. Every morning, I practice visualization techniques where I deliberately imagine successful outcomes while acknowledging the fear that accompanies them. This isn't wishful thinking, it's neurological rewiring. Neuroscience has confirmed that our brains physically change through consistent thought patterns, creating new neural pathways that eventually become our default response. But here's the revelation that changed everything for me. Abundance attracts abundance. As you begin to shift your relationship with fear, you naturally develop what I call an internal wealth magnet. This magnetism isn't mystical, it's psychological. When your mind operates from a place of opportunity rather than scarcity, you begin noticing resources and connections that were always present but previously invisible to you. I remember working with Sarah, a client who had been stuck in the same middle management position for years, terrified of asking for promotions or pursuing side opportunities. Her transformation began not with a new resume or business plan, but with daily affirmation exercises specifically targeting her fear response. Within 6 months, she had not only secured a director-level position, but also launched a consulting practice that doubled her income. The hidden truth is that wealthy people aren't fearless, they're fear translators. They've learned to interpret financial anxiety as a sign they're pushing boundaries rather than making mistakes. This subtle distinction creates a compounding effect in your financial decisions. Instead of retreating from discomfort, you lean into it with curiosity, asking, "What can this teach me?" rather than, "How can I avoid this?" Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring the specific mental frameworks that accelerate this transformation. The journey toward financial abundance requires more than just positive thinking. It demands a complete restructuring of how you process information about money and opportunity. What fascinates me is how predictable these mental shifts become once you understand the pattern. Each decision you make either reinforces your existing beliefs about wealth or challenges them. This creates either a virtuous cycle of expanding opportunity or a constraining spiral of limitation. The wealthy consistently choose the former, not because they were born different, but because they've cultivated specific thought habits that interpret economic signals in empowering ways. I've documented these patterns across hundreds of success stories, and the consistency is remarkable. Whether we're talking about self-made entrepreneurs or people who transform their financial situations later in life, the mindset shift always precedes the material change. It's as if the internal landscape must be prepared before external abundance can take root and flourish. If you're nodding along and recognizing some of these principles at work in your own life, write in the comments, "I'm reprogramming my fear response." This simple acknowledgement is actually the first step in solidifying your commitment to this transformation. The transformation that occurs when shifting from negative to positive thinking isn't just mental gymnastics. It's an energetic recalibration. I've seen people completely reinvent their financial reality by catching themselves mid-thought when something like, "I never have enough money," pops up, and deliberately replacing it with, "Money flows to me easily." This simple practice creates a profound ripple effect in your energetic field. When we consistently interrupt old thought patterns, we're essentially rewiring neural pathways. The brain doesn't distinguish between what's objectively happening and what we're intensely visualizing. That's why the vibrant vision component of our trifecta is so powerful. When you create detailed mental images of the wealth you desire, feeling the texture of that new business card, hearing the congratulations from colleagues after your promotion, or sensing the weight of those investment returns hitting your account, your subconscious begins accepting these scenarios as inevitable truths. But vision without emotion is like a beautiful sports car without fuel. The emotional component acts as the high-octane accelerant that propels your manifestations forward. This isn't about manufactured positivity, it's about genuine emotional investment. When you can generate authentic feelings of gratitude, excitement, and certainty about your financial future, even before external evidence appears, you're activating what quantum physicists might call entanglement with those desired outcomes. I've witnessed remarkable revelations in clients who finally understand that the universe doesn't respond to what they want. It responds to their energetic state. Their hidden truth was that they were often focused on wealth while vibrating at a frequency of scarcity. The alignment between thought, emotion, and energetic signature creates a coherence that becomes magnetic to opportunity. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining the inspired action piece of our wealth manifestation framework. Unlike forced, anxiety-driven hustle, inspired action flows from an internal guidance system that recognizes perfect timing and elegant solutions. It's the difference between pushing against resistance and surfing momentum. This action feels different. It carries a sense of rightness, of being in flow. The journey to financial abundance often reveals surprising mindset barriers we didn't know existed. Many of my students discover they've been harboring unconscious beliefs inherited from parents or cultural conditioning that sabotaged their progress. The moment these limiting decisions are brought to light, their impact begins to diminish. One client realized she had internalized her father's belief that wealthy people are dishonest, which was invisibly causing her to self-sabotage every time her business approached six figures. Behind the scenes of every wealth transformation is this inner reconciliation work, healing the split between wanting abundance and believing you're worthy of receiving it. When these aspects come into alignment, wealth acceleration occurs almost automatically. Your energy field becomes a beacon that signals to universal forces, "I am ready to receive." The most fascinating aspect of energy to wealth conversion is how it operates beyond conventional logic. Sometimes the pathways to prosperity appear through seemingly random connections, unexpected opportunities, or insights that arrive during meditation or sleep. This is your intuition, your highest intelligence, guiding you toward your most abundant expression. What many miss in this process is the power of consistency. Energy work isn't a one-time event. It's a practice of constant recalibration. Each day presents dozens of opportunities to choose higher vibrational thoughts about money, to visualize with emotional intensity, and to take inspired action from a place of alignment rather than fear. If this approach to manifesting wealth resonates with your experience, write "energy flows where attention goes" in the comments. I'm curious how many of you have noticed this principle at work in your own financial journey. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic of vibration and financial attraction. What most people miss in their wealth journey is that faith and persistence aren't just motivational concepts. They're actually energetic commitments that maintain your vibrational frequency at the level needed for manifestation. Think about the last time you experienced a financial setback. Most people immediately drop into a lower vibration, worry, fear, or even panic. But those who understand the hidden mechanics of abundance know that these moments are actually vibrational crossroads. They're decision points where you can either collapse into lower energy or transform the experience into something that actually accelerates your manifestation power. This transformation happens through what I call vibrational resilience, your ability to maintain your energetic signature even when external circumstances don't yet match your internal reality. It's like having an unshakable inner knowing that transcends your current bank account. The revelations I've witnessed in people who master this are profound. One client was facing bankruptcy 3 years ago. Instead of seeing it as failure, she interpreted it as the universe clearing outdated financial patterns from her life. She maintained her wealth vibration through daily practices, refusing to let her temporary circumstances define her energetic output. Today, she runs a 7-figure business and often tells me the bankruptcy was the greatest gift to her abundance journey. What's fascinating is how this vibrational consistency creates a momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. You're not just attracting money, you're becoming a different kind of financial being. The universe doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to who you are. When you shift your beingness to that of a wealthy person at the energetic level, money begins to find pathways to you that weren't previously available. This energetic phenomenon explains why some people seem to bounce back from financial setbacks with even greater resources than before. They've mastered the art of maintaining their wealth vibration regardless of external validation. They understand that financial setbacks are not punishments, but recalibrations, the universe's way of aligning you more precisely with true abundance. I've observed this pattern in countless success stories. What appears as lucky breaks to outside observers is actually the culmination of consistent vibrational alignment. The most successful wealth attractors maintain their high-frequency energy, especially during challenges, refusing to let temporary circumstances dictate their permanent vibration. The mindset impact of this approach is extraordinary. When you stop seeing failures as evidence that you're doing it wrong and start recognizing them as essential feedback mechanisms in your wealth evolution, everything shifts. You develop an unshakable inner compass that guides your financial decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. This journey of vibrational wealth attraction isn't about denying reality. It's about creating a new reality through your persistent, energetic commitment. The most powerful manifestors I know don't wait for external evidence before they feel abundant. They generate the feeling first, trusting in the universal law that energy precedes matter. If you're resonating with these principles, type vibrational alignment in the comments below. I'd love to know who's practicing these concepts in their own financial journey. When we complain, we're essentially broadcasting a frequency of lack and dissatisfaction into the universe. Think about how your body physically feels when you're in complaint mode. Your shoulders tense, your breathing becomes shallow, and your entire energy field contracts. This is no coincidence. Your vibrational energy literally diminishes with each complaint that passes your lips. Gratitude, on the other hand, works as a powerful energetic amplifier. When you genuinely appreciate what you have, something remarkable happens in your energetic field. It expands, becomes lighter, and more magnetic. I've witnessed this transformation countless times in my own journey. The days I focus on gratitude, opportunities seem to find me effortlessly, while complaint-heavy periods feel like trudging through mud. This is where the hidden truth about money reveals itself. Money isn't just physical currency. It's a form of energetic exchange, a vibration that responds to our internal state. When we understand this principle deeply, we begin to see that wealth accumulation isn't primarily about tactics or strategies, but about vibrational alignment. I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how to cultivate a vision that resonates with wealth consciousness. Creating this vision isn't about daydreaming about mansions and luxury cars, though there's nothing wrong with those desires. It's about developing an intimate relationship with abundance as your natural state of being. This requires a fundamental mindset shift. Most people operate from a scarcity framework where resources are limited and gaining wealth means someone else must lose. This zero-sum perception creates energetic resistance that blocks the very abundance they seek. The wealthy individuals I've studied understand either consciously or intuitively that abundance is our natural birthright, as infinite as the stars in the sky. Your personal wealth vision must feel authentic to your core values. I've seen many people try to force themselves to visualize material possessions they don't genuinely desire, creating a vibrational mismatch. Your wealth blueprint must resonate with what truly matters to you. Perhaps it's freedom of time, the ability to help others, or creating something meaningful that outlasts you. The transformation begins with awareness of your current money story. We all carry narratives about wealth from our upbringing, culture, and experiences. Some believe money is the root of all evil, others that it's hard to earn, or that wealthy people are somehow unethical. These stories create powerful subconscious barriers. Your journey requires excavating these limiting beliefs and consciously choosing new ones that support your vision. This isn't superficial positive thinking. It's about rewiring neural pathways through consistent practice. When you catch yourself in scarcity thinking, gently redirect to abundance consciousness. See challenges as opportunities for growth rather than confirmations of lack. What's remarkable about this vibrational approach is how it transcends mere financial outcomes. As you align with abundance, you'll notice improvements across all aspects of life. Relationships deepen, health often improves, and a sense of purpose emerges. Money becomes just one expression of the greater abundance flowing through your life. The revelations that emerge from this practice often surprise even the most skeptical practitioners. Many discover that their resistance to wealth was actually protecting them from perceived threats. Perhaps the fear of changing relationships or taking on new responsibilities. By bringing these shadows into the light, they dissolve their power. If you're resonating with these concepts as I share them, type "vibration activated" in the comments below. Now, I want to share something crucial about actually implementing this knowledge. But here's where most people get caught in a loop. They hear about manifestation and expect money to appear magically without transforming their relationship with it. The truth is, becoming a money magnet isn't just about affirmations. It's about energetic coherence in your entire being. When your thoughts, feelings, actions, and beliefs align around abundance, you create a vibrational signature that wealth recognizes and responds to. Think of it like this. If you're constantly saying, "I am wealthy," but feeling anxious every time you check your bank account, you're sending mixed signals to the universe. This incongruence creates static in your manifestation frequency. What I've discovered through my own financial evolution is that the wealthy don't just think differently about money, they feel differently about it too. The hidden truth behind this process is something I rarely hear discussed. Becoming a money magnet requires you to heal your money wounds first. Most of us carry deep-seated beliefs about wealth that were programmed into us during childhood. Perhaps you overheard your parents fighting about bills or absorbed religious ideas that money is somehow impure. These subtle imprints create subconscious resistance that blocks your abundance flow. I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining what happens beneath the surface when you truly align with wealth consciousness. When you heal these wounds and shift your energy, you'll notice synchronicities beginning to appear. Perhaps you'll randomly connect with someone who offers you a business opportunity, or you'll have an inspired idea that leads to a new income stream. This isn't coincidence. It's your recalibrated energy field attracting resonant experiences. The mindset shift required is profound. Instead of seeing money as something external that you need to chase and acquire, you begin to recognize it as an energy that flows toward alignment. The wealthy don't pursue money. They position themselves as natural conduits for it by embodying prosperity consciousness in everything they do. Your daily decisions matter tremendously in this journey. From how you speak about finances to whether you treat yourself with abundance in small ways, these choices reinforce either a scarcity or abundance frequency. I've found that even simple practices like expressing gratitude for the money already in your life or celebrating others' financial success can dramatically shift your wealth vibration. The transformation occurs when you stop seeing wealth as something you need to manifest and start embodying the identity of someone who is already wealthy in consciousness. This subtle but powerful shift changes everything. When you interact with the world from this empowered state, opportunities naturally gravitate toward you because you're operating at a frequency that matches prosperity. What's fascinating about this process is how it impacts every area of your life. As your relationship with money heals, you'll often find other relationships improving too. That's because the same abundance principles that govern financial flow also apply to love, health, and fulfillment. Your money journey becomes a vehicle for holistic growth and awakening. If what I'm saying resonates with your experiences or aspirations, write, "I'm aligning with wealth now," in the comments below. Now, I want to share something remarkable about what happens when you maintain this wealth consciousness consistently. Many dismiss this energetic approach to wealth as simplistic, but there's a fundamental truth hiding beneath the surface that even skeptics should consider. When we examine successful people across industries, we notice a pattern beyond their actions. They embody a particular energy signature that precedes their financial achievements. Think about how often we encounter two individuals following identical strategies, yet one thrives while the other struggles. The difference isn't just in their tactics, but in their energetic presence. Money, in its essence, responds to certainty and conviction. This isn't mystical thinking, but a practical observation about human psychology and its external manifestations. I discovered this hidden truth during my own financial journey. For years, I chased success through pure hustle, grinding myself into exhaustion without understanding why the results didn't match my efforts. The transformation began when I realized I was approaching wealth with an underlying current of desperation, a frequency that actually repels abundance rather than attracting it. Consider this profound shift in perspective. What if wealth isn't something you chase, but something you allow? What if your relationship with money has been unnecessarily adversarial because of unconscious beliefs you inherited? These revelations changed everything for me. The mindset of abundance operates on a simple principle. Money flows toward those who hold the unwavering belief that they deserve it and can handle it responsibly. This isn't about magical thinking, but about the tangible impact your energy has on decision-making, opportunity recognition, and how others perceive your value. When you radiate certainty about your worth, people naturally want to compensate you accordingly. When you approach negotiations from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, you make different choices that yield better outcomes. This energetic alignment creates a cascade effect across all areas of financial life. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining the practical applications of energetic alignment in everyday financial decisions. The most successful investors and entrepreneurs understand that their internal state directly influences external results. Before making important money moves, they deliberately calibrate their energy to ensure they're operating from clarity rather than fear. This practice isn't reserved for financial gurus or spiritual masters. Anyone can learn to recognize when they're making decisions from a contracted energy state versus an expanded one. The difference might seem subtle initially, but the outcomes diverge dramatically over time. Think about your own financial patterns. Have you noticed how money seems to flow more easily when you're in certain emotional states, or how opportunities appear when you least expect them? These aren't coincidences, but manifestations of your energetic relationship with abundance. The journey toward financial freedom requires both practical action and energetic alignment. One without the other creates an imbalance that limits your potential. The good news is that you can work on both simultaneously, creating a powerful synergy that accelerates your progress. If any of this resonates with your own experiences or observations, write "Energy precedes outcome" in the comments. I'm curious to discover how many of you have noticed this pattern in your own financial journey. This emotional dynamic with money is something I've come to understand through years of inner work. Money doesn't just respond to logical strategy or hustle. It's deeply intertwined with our energetic state. When we exist in a space of doubt, we're essentially telling the universe we're not ready to receive. It's a subtle but powerful sabotage mechanism many of us aren't even conscious of. Think about the last time you felt truly confident about a financial decision. That sense of certainty, that absence of second guessing, that's the fertile ground where abundance grows. The journey toward wealth isn't just external, it's an internal transformation that begins with how we relate to uncertainty. I've witnessed this revelation unfold in my own life. There was a period when I constantly questioned my worth, my pricing, my ability to manage larger sums, and predictably, money responded accordingly, keeping a safe distance. The turning point came when I realized that money, like water, follows the path of least resistance. It gravitates toward calm confidence rather than anxious grasping. This isn't some abstract spiritual concept. It's observable in practical reality. Notice how the wealthiest people often move through the world with a particular kind of assurance. They don't chase money. They position themselves to receive it. They've mastered the art of decision-making without the paralysis of doubt. The hidden truth many miss is that this confidence isn't always a natural trait. It's cultivated. It's developed through intentional mindset work and repeated exposure to situations that stretch your comfort zone. Each time you push through fear to make that investment, approach that client, or launch that offering, you're rewiring your relationship with uncertainty. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring the specific practices that can help transform doubtful energy into magnetic certainty. Because this shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent inner work. The good news is that your mind is incredibly adaptable. The neural pathways that currently light up with fear when you think about money can be redirected toward confidence. Imagine walking into a room full of wealthy individuals. Many people would immediately feel intimidated, perhaps unworthy. But what if you could enter that same room feeling completely at ease, knowing with unshakable certainty that you belong there? That sense of belonging doesn't come from external validation, but from internal alignment. Your relationship with money mirrors your relationship with yourself. The doubts you harbor about your financial future often reflect deeper uncertainties about your value, capabilities, or worthiness. This is why personal development work is not separate from financial growth. They're two sides of the same coin. When I began treating my doubts not as truth, but as outdated programming in need of an upgrade, everything changed. I stopped trying to eliminate fear, which only creates resistance, and instead learned to move forward alongside it. This is the crucial distinction that creates real momentum in your abundance journey. The barriers we place between ourselves and wealth aren't physical. They're energetic. They exist in the form of limiting beliefs, emotional patterns, and unconscious expectations that we've accumulated over decades. Breaking through requires a willingness to examine these patterns with compassion and curiosity. If you're resonating with this message and recognizing patterns of doubt in your own relationship with money, comment below with the phrase, "I'm releasing doubt." I'd love to hear from others who are ready to transform this aspect of their lives. These mindset shifts aren't just abstract concepts, they're the foundation of real transformation. When I first started reframing challenges as learning opportunities, it felt awkward, almost forced. But gradually, this perspective became my default setting. That's the hidden power of consistent thought patterns. They eventually become your reality. Consider how we typically react to financial setbacks. Most of us immediately spiral into worry. I don't have enough, or I'll never get ahead. This scarcity mentality is like wearing blinders that prevent us from seeing the abundance of possibilities surrounding us. The journey from scarcity to abundance thinking doesn't happen overnight. It's a progressive revelation that unfolds through daily practice. I remember working with a client who'd been stuck in a cycle of financial anxiety for decades. Despite earning a solid income, she constantly worried about not having enough. We started with a simple exercise. At the end of each day, she would identify 3 instances of financial abundance in her life, no matter how small. At first, she struggled, but within weeks, she began noticing opportunities she had previously been blind to. 6 months later, she had not only increased her income by 30%, but had developed a completely different relationship with money. The circumstances hadn't dramatically changed. Her perception had. This illustrates a profound truth. Our financial reality often follows our dominant thoughts. The neural pathways in our brains become strengthened through repetition, creating either abundance highways or scarcity ruts that become increasingly difficult to escape from. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how your current financial situation might be reflecting your unconscious beliefs. Many of us carry hidden money stories from childhood, narratives we absorbed from our parents, teachers, or society that continue to influence our decisions today. These stories create invisible boundaries that limit what we believe is possible for us. Breaking free requires more than just positive thinking. It demands conscious awareness of these limiting stories and deliberate efforts to rewrite them. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't afford that," try replacing it with, "How can I make this happen?" Notice how different these questions feel. One closes doors, while the other opens pathways to creative solutions. This shift isn't about denying financial realities. It's about approaching those realities with a mindset that empowers rather than restricts. When you combine practical financial knowledge with abundance thinking, you create a powerful alliance that can overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The most successful people I've worked with share one common trait. They maintain unwavering faith in the abundance of opportunities, even when facing significant challenges. They've learned that scarcity thinking is often a self-fulfilling prophecy, while abundance thinking creates the mental space needed for innovative solutions to emerge. Remember that your thoughts create emotional states, which influence your actions, which ultimately determine your results. This cycle can either work for you or against you, depending on the quality of thoughts you consistently entertain. If you've been experiencing this same pattern in your own financial journey, write "breaking free" in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your experiences with shifting from scarcity to abundance thinking. When I started practicing this visualization technique, I noticed something fascinating. It wasn't just about picturing myself with material wealth. It was about embodying the energy of my wealthy self. This subtle shift makes all the difference in the transformation process. Think about how a wealthy version of you would move through the world. Would they rush from place to place, constantly worried? Or would they move with certainty, making deliberate choices with their time and attention? The hidden truth that many miss about visualization is that it's not wishful thinking. It's rehearsal for reality. Your mind doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Both create neural pathways that influence your decisions and perceptions. When you consistently visualize yourself as your wealthy self, you're actually rewiring your brain to recognize opportunities that align with that vision. One powerful revelation I've discovered is that abundance thinking extends beyond money. It's a complete mindset shift that affects how you perceive time, relationships, creativity, and possibilities. When you operate from this expanded perspective, you naturally make different choices. You might find yourself speaking with more confidence in meetings, setting appropriate boundaries with your time, or investing in yourself in ways you previously wouldn't consider. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring what happens behind the scenes when you maintain these abundance-focused thoughts. There's a fascinating ripple effect that occurs. Your thoughts influence your emotions, which affect your energy, which impacts how others respond to you. People are drawn to those who radiate confidence and possibility. This isn't mystical, it's practical psychology. When you consistently hold the vision of your wealthy self, you project the energy that attracts alignment. The journey toward abundance requires persistence. There will be days when external circumstances make it challenging to maintain this mindset. This is precisely when visualization becomes most powerful. By intentionally shifting your focus back to abundance during difficult moments, you're developing a mental resilience that wealthy people consistently demonstrate. They don't deny challenges. They simply refuse to let challenges dominate their mental landscape. I've noticed that many people underestimate the impact of their daily thought patterns. Every thought carries weight. When you consistently think thoughts aligned with lack and limitation, you're unconsciously reinforcing those patterns in your life. Experience. But when you deliberately cultivate thoughts of abundance, even before physical evidence appears, you're creating the internal conditions necessary for external prosperity to emerge. What's particularly interesting is how this practice gradually shifts your identity. At first, visualizing your wealthy self might feel like pretending, but with consistency, something remarkable happens. The gap between who you are now and who you're becoming starts to narrow. The decisions your wealthy self would make become more natural to you. The confidence they would exhibit becomes more authentic. This identity shift is where the real magic happens. If you're resonating with these ideas and recognize how your thought patterns might be influencing your financial reality, write in the comments, "I'm reprogramming my mind for wealth." Now, as we explore this wealth consciousness further, let's examine how this visualization practice connects to practical action. Abundance goes beyond simply memorizing words and phrases. It requires a fundamental mindset shift that aligns your entire being with prosperity. When crafting your personal affirmations, consider them seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. These aren't just positive statements, they're transformative declarations that reshape your relationship with wealth. The most powerful affirmations resonate deeply with your authentic desires. Rather than generic phrases like, "I am wealthy," craft statements that connect with your unique journey. "I attract abundance through my creative gifts," or "money flows to me through channels aligned with my highest purpose." This personalization creates an emotional resonance that generic statements simply cannot achieve. Consistency becomes your greatest ally in this process. Your mind responds to repetition, gradually accepting your affirmations as truth rather than aspiration. Consider establishing a ritual, perhaps morning and evening. Declarations while looking into your eyes in the mirror, or writing your affirmations daily in a dedicated journal. These practices forge neural pathways that support your prosperity consciousness. The unseen factor in this abundance equation is your emotional state during affirmation practice. Your subconscious responds more powerfully to feeling than to thinking. When reciting your affirmations, immerse yourself in the emotions of already having received your desired abundance. Feel the relief, gratitude, and joy that accompany financial freedom. This emotional imprinting accelerates manifestation in ways that logical recitation alone cannot achieve. Many seekers of abundance miss the crucial element of receptivity. Manifesting wealth requires not just declaration, but preparation, creating space in your life for prosperity to enter. This might mean organizing your finances, eliminating debt, developing new skills, or even decluttering your physical space. These actions demonstrate to both your subconscious and the universe that you're ready to receive. Your journey toward abundance represents a profound identity evolution. You're not simply attracting wealth, you're becoming a person who naturally resonates with prosperity. This metamorphosis often brings unexpected challenges as you release limiting beliefs that have defined your financial identity. Embrace these moments of resistance as evidence of your transformation taking root. The hidden revelation in abundance work lies in understanding that wealth doesn't simply appear, it responds to your vibration. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions collectively generate an energetic signature that either attracts or repels prosperity. Your affirmations serve as a recalibration tool, adjusting your frequency to match the vibration of abundance. Beyond affirmations lies the realm of inspired action. As you align your consciousness with abundance, you'll receive intuitive nudges toward opportunities, conversations, and decisions that support your prosperity. These promptings might seem small or even unrelated to wealth building, but they're integral pieces in your abundance puzzle. Your responsibility is to remain attuned to these subtle guidances and act upon them with confidence. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how your current relationship with money reveals subconscious patterns that may be blocking your abundance flow. These patterns often originated in childhood but continue influencing your financial decisions in ways you might not recognize. If this approach to abundance work resonates with your experience, write in the comments. I'm ready to reprogram my prosperity code, so I know we're aligned on this journey. This isn't mere positive thinking, it's about fundamentally rewiring your deepest beliefs about what you deserve. When you declare, "I am worthy of prosperity," you're not just repeating empty words, you're activating ancient wisdom that understood the power of identity before modern psychology had a name for it. The transformation begins when you realize that worthiness isn't something to be earned through endless achievement or validation from others. It's your birthright. The universe operates through fundamental laws. Like gravity doesn't ask if you deserve to stay grounded, abundance doesn't question if you deserve to receive. Behind the scenes of every wealth journey is this critical mindset shift. Those who create lasting prosperity don't just work harder, they've aligned their identity with abundance at such a fundamental level that it becomes as natural as breathing. This alignment creates a resonance that begins attracting opportunities you might otherwise have missed or rejected. Now, I want to go even deeper into this unshakable faith dimension. It's fascinating how the most successful wealth creators maintain their conviction even when faced with overwhelming evidence to the contrary. This isn't blind optimism, it's a disciplined practice of focusing on the invisible reality they're committed to manifesting rather than the temporary circumstances before them. Think about this. Doubt will always appear along your journey. It's inevitable. But what separates those who break through from those who remain stuck isn't the absence of doubt. It's their relationship with it. When doubt arises, they don't fight it or succumb to it. Instead, they acknowledge it as a natural part of the growth process, while maintaining their core alignment with prosperity consciousness. This creates an interesting paradox that few understand. Your doubts don't actually need to disappear for you to manifest wealth. You simply need to give more authority to your faith than to your doubts. It's about which voice you empower through your attention and decisions. The hidden truth many miss is that this unwavering faith actually alters your perception in ways that reveal opportunities invisible to others. People operating from lack consciousness literally cannot see the same opportunities that become obvious to someone aligned with abundance. In practical terms, reinforcing your identity as worthy of prosperity might look like establishing daily affirmation practices, creating environmental cues that reflect your prosperity identity, or developing wealth rituals that anchor you to this mindset. But the most powerful approach is making decisions from your future wealthy self rather than your current circumstances. When faced with choices about investments, business opportunities, or even simple purchases, ask yourself, what would my wealthy self do? This isn't about fake extravagance or pretending. It's about approaching decisions from a mindset of sufficiency rather than scarcity. Remember, your nervous system responds to repetition and consistency. The more you practice embodying this worthy identity, the more your subconscious accepts it as your baseline reality. Over time, what once felt like an aspirational stretch becomes your natural operating system. If what I've shared resonates with your own experience or aspirations, write in the comments. I claim my prosperity identity. This declaration itself can be a powerful first step in your alignment journey. It's fascinating how money mirrors our inner landscape. When we begin to see it not just as currency, but as energy that responds to our own frequency, everything shifts. I've observed this pattern repeatedly. Individuals who focus obsessively on the lack of money tend to remain stuck in scarcity, while those who align their energy with abundance naturally draw more financial opportunities toward them. This concept of money as a reflection isn't just some spiritual notion disconnected from reality. It's deeply practical. Consider how your financial situation often correlates with periods of personal growth or stagnation in your life. During times of clarity, confidence, and purpose, have you noticed how financial doors seem to open more easily? This is no coincidence. The transformation begins when you stop viewing money as something external that you must chase and instead recognize it as something that naturally flows toward aligned energy. It's similar to relationships. When you're desperately seeking a partner, that neediness often repels potential connections. But when you're content and confident in yourself, you become naturally magnetic. Many wealth coaches focus exclusively on tactics, investment strategies, saving techniques, income streams, all valuable certainly. But these tactics often fall flat without addressing the underlying energetic foundation. I've witnessed countless people master every wealth-building strategy available, yet still struggle financially because their internal relationship with money remains broken. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring what it actually means to elevate your energy around money. This isn't about positive thinking alone, though that's part of it. It's about fundamentally rewiring your relationship with abundance at a subconscious level. The journey begins with awareness. Pay attention to the language you use around money. Do you consistently say things like, "I can't afford that, money is tight," or "I'll never be financially free"? These statements aren't just observations. They're declarations to your subconscious and to the universe about what you believe is possible for you. Your words create your reality more powerfully than most realize. Next, examine your money behaviors. Do you check your bank account with anxiety? Do you resent those who have more? Do you feel guilty when you spend on yourself? These subtle emotional patterns form the hidden architecture of your financial reality. The revelation that changed everything for me was understanding that my relationship with receiving was directly connected to my capacity for wealth. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that giving is virtuous, while receiving is somehow selfish. This imbalance creates a one-way energy flow that ultimately leads to depletion, not abundance. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough is a shift in identity. The question isn't, "What do I need to do to make more money?" but rather, "Who do I need to become to naturally attract abundance?" When you focus on the becoming rather than the achieving, the path unfolds with remarkable clarity. What's particularly powerful about this mindset shift is that it impacts every area of your life, not just your finances. The same energy that attracts money also tends to improve your relationships, health, and overall well-being. It's all interconnected in ways that conventional financial advice rarely acknowledges. If you're resonating with what I'm sharing today, write "Energy Shifts Everything" in the comments below. I'd love to know that these ideas are finding fertile ground. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because there's a hidden truth about wealth that most people miss. True abundance isn't just about money sitting in your account. It's about the person you become in pursuit of that wealth. When you develop the mindset of growth, you're essentially rewiring your neural pathways to recognize opportunity where others see obstacles. Think about this journey for a moment. Every wealthy person you admire had to undergo a profound internal transformation before their external circumstances shifted. This isn't motivational fluff, it's the psychological reality behind sustainable success. You simply cannot outperform your self-image in the long run. I noticed this pattern while studying the habits of self-made millionaires across different industries and cultural backgrounds. Despite their diverse stories, they all shared this common thread: a relentless commitment to personal evolution. They understood that wealth is merely the shadow cast by your personal growth. Here's what fascinates me. This transformation operates on multiple levels simultaneously. At the skill level, you're constantly expanding your capabilities and knowledge base. At the mindset level, you're reprogramming limiting beliefs that have been subtly sabotaging your progress. And at the identity level, you're literally becoming someone new, someone who naturally attracts abundance because it aligns with who you are, not just what you do. The revelation that changed everything for me was understanding that wealth doesn't just happen to you, it responds to you. It responds to your decisions, your resilience, your willingness to step into uncertainty with courage rather than fear. Most people want financial freedom, but they're not willing to free themselves from the comfortable prison of their current identity first. This shift in perspective creates a powerful ripple effect in your life. You start noticing opportunities that were always there but remained invisible to you before. Your network naturally expands to include more ambitious, forward-thinking individuals. Even your relationship with failure transforms. Instead of derailing you, setbacks become valuable feedback mechanisms that refine your approach. What's truly remarkable is how this inner journey impacts not just your financial reality, but every dimension of your existence. Your relationships deepen, your health often improves, and you experience a genuine sense of purpose that no amount of money alone could provide. This holistic transformation is the real treasure. The wealth in your bank account simply becomes evidence of who you've become. I encourage you to reflect on this question tonight. Who do I need to become to naturally attract the wealth I desire? The answer isn't about tactics or strategies, it's about identity and alignment. When your actions, beliefs, and self-concept are in harmony, abundance flows with remarkably less resistance. If this perspective resonates with you, write in the comments, "I'm ready for my transformation." Because acknowledging this truth is often the first step in your wealth journey, a journey that begins not with your circumstances, but with your conscious decision to grow beyond your current limitations. If you've stayed with me through this entire exploration, you're clearly someone who understands that real transformation requires depth and commitment. That's rare these days, and it's exactly why I create this content. If this resonated with you, I'd love to know you made it to the end. Just drop "I'm ready for my transformation" in the comments below. It's a small declaration, but sometimes putting your intentions into words can be surprisingly powerful. I appreciate you giving this video your attention, and if you found value in it, hitting that like button helps others discover this conversation too. I've actually created a follow-up video that dives into the practical steps of this identity transformation we discussed. Click right here. And let's continue this journey together. Your wealth transformation doesn't end with this video. In many ways,